President Park Geun-hye agrees with French President Francois Hollande to build a future-oriented partnership on her state visit to France. The oldest known victim of Japan's wartime sex slavery program has donated her life savings to keep the memory of the tragedy alive. And can hypnosis be used to unlock clues from the subconscious minds of witnesses to crack tough cases? Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Tuesday, November 5th. I'm Luke Clary. President Park Geun-hye has met with her French counterpart Francois Hollande in Paris on her state visit to France. The two leaders agreed to build a future-oriented partnership.
President Park Geun-hye and French President Francois Hollande agreed at the summit to build a partnership that jointly discovers new growth engines for the future. The agreement illustrates the two nations' commitment to move beyond government-led collaborations and build a foundation of cooperation for private businesses and jointly enter third-party markets. Visa processing for businessmen and corporate interns will be shortened from 3 months to less than 1 month, and exchanges for young interns will be expanded. The Korean and French governments will make matching investments to an R&D project for small businesses and provide financial and insurance support to businesses entering the markets in the Middle East and Africa. Also, the two countries are to work on the shortcomings in bilateral cultural cooperation projects and begin negotiations on nuclear power programs before the year's end. During President Park's visit, 4 MOUs have been concluded, including a $1-billion-U.S. financial deal between Korea's Exim Bank and France's multinational energy company, Total S.A. President Park also stressed the importance of technological cooperation during her visit to the French automaker Renault S.A. Renault is to develop long-distance electric vehicles for Korea's LG Chem Limited. Park and Hollande have agreed to hold regular summits from now to help move Korea-France relations forward.
After a number of setbacks, Korea's next-generation fighter jet procurement project is going back to square one. The U.S. aviation industry is striving to win the Korean deal.
Korea will purchase a total of 60 fighter jets with its $7.8 billion procurement project. The jets considered in the bid were Boeing's F-15 Silent Eagle, Europe's Eurofighter, and Lockheed Martin's F-35 stealth jet. Korea was supposed to make a final decision by September on which one it would buy, but Seoul decided to delay the purchase by a year and review the fighter jet procurement program from scratch. With its final stage failure in the first round of bidding, Boeing has made a new proposal through the U.S. Air Force's former Chief of Staff, Ronald Fogelman. Boeing has proposed that Korea purchase fighter jets from both Boeing and its rival, Lockheed Martin. Its proposal is specific. The plan is to have Korea buy a combination of 40 Boeing F-15 jets and 20 Lockheed Martin F-35 jets.
This is a neighborhood of the world where long-term you want stealth. But you'd also like to survive to use it.
However, Korea is concerned that as a stealth fighter jet, the Boeing F-15 Silent Eagle is not as advanced as the next-generation jets adopted by China and Japan. Boeing's new proposal apparently is aimed at easing Korea's concerns. Lockheed Martin appears to expect Seoul to accept Boeing's proposal, saying that the adoption of the same fighter jet model by Korea, China, and Japan will enhance interoperability.
The NIS has announced it will shut down its scandal-ridden counter-North Korea psychological warfare team, but the agency warned that Pyongyang is ramping up its cyber warfare capacity.
The National Intelligence Service has decided to close its psychological warfare team against North Korea that's embroiled in an election interference scandal. NIS Chief Nam Jae-jun announced at the National Assembly's Intelligence Committee audit that there will be an organization overhaul and establishment of a new unit to counter mounting cyber terrorism threats from the North. However, he made it clear that it would be difficult to transfer the NIS's investigative authority over North Korean issues.
내부 혁신의 일환으로 과학 정보 차장을 신설했다. 그리고 사이버 경제 방첩에 대한 조직을 보강하겠다.
As for the prosecution's investigation into the NIS involvement in the last presidential election, Nam said 7 NIS employees would show up for questioning next week. The NIS noted that North Korea is strengthening its cyber warfare capacity, just as the regime is doing with its nuclear arms and missiles. North Korea is known to have a cyber research center under its intelligence bureau, 7 hacking groups under the Workers' Party, and an emergency team capable of evading IP address tracking technologies.
김정은은 사이버 전환 핵미사일과 함께 우리 인민군대의 무자비한 타격 능력을 담보하는 만능의 도구입니다.
The Cyber Psychological Warfare Unit under the Unification Bureau of the Workers' Party is known to operate through the spy networks in 10 countries, including China and Japan. The unit has reportedly attempted to identify the locations of key facilities, such as power plants and railroads in South Korea, and hack into smartphones as well as conventional internet sites.
The oldest known victim of Japan's wartime sex slavery program has donated her life savings toward the construction of a memorial that she hopes will help young generations remember the tragic history.
Kim Bok-duk was lured into sex slavery when she was 22 years old. She was forced to serve the Japanese military in China and the Philippines for 6 years. Some 70 years have passed since that time, and she's now 96 years old. Living alone in a small room, Kim is battling a number of illnesses. Her most desperate wish is to receive an apology from Japan before she dies.
제일 소원이 사과하면 내 쪽에 하나는 하라고 써도 안 하는데 어쩌.
Kim donated all she has, which is almost $19,000, for the construction of a memorial dedicated to Korean women who were conscripted as sex slaves by Japan during World War II. She hopes that the young and future generations will learn more about Japan's atrocities and distortion of history. Discussions began last year on the establishment of a memorial for Korean sex slaves in South Gyeongsang Province. However, no progress has been made since the South Gyeongsang provincial government did not appropriate a budget for it.
참혹한 역사가 다시는 우리 미래 세대, 우리 아이들에게 되풀이되지 않도록 하기 위해서 이러한 역사를 온전히 기록하고
Kim hopes her donation will be used to teach and remind people about the torment that sex slaves have undergone and the tragic history that had taken place.
Experts say your risk of serious disease when you age decreases if you're conscious about your health when you're young. But a new study shows poor health habits among people in their 20s and 30s.
This man joined his company 4 years ago. It's rare for him to go home early on weekdays. This is because he often works late or has social gatherings after work.
야근도 많았고 회식도 많았고 친구들 술 약속도 많아가지고 이제 주중에는 뭐 운동할 시간은 그런 게 없었는데 이제 주말에 나중에 몰아서 이제 하고 있습니다.
Men in their 30s posted high rates of smoking, drinking, obesity, and stress compared to those in other age brackets. Among women, those in their 20s neglected taking care of their health the most. They show high rates of malnutrition and stress. These are the ages when men and women start working and their health issues are closely correlated to their workplace environments. However, neglecting your health can result in serious problems.
흡연이나 운동, 그릇된 식습관 같은 것이 암의 발생에 있어서 3분의 2 이상을 차지하는 것으로 되어 있습니다. 젊었을 때부터 어떤 생활 습관을 가느냐가 향후의 건강
There are no shortcuts to good health and longevity other than eating healthy, abstaining from drinking and smoking, and getting regular exercise.
Hypnosis is gaining some recognition as a legitimate scientific investigation method. Clues discovered in the subconscious minds of victims or witnesses have helped investigators solve major crimes.
A cash-carrying armored truck was robbed in Yongin, Gyeonggi Province. More than $75,000 were stolen, but the police could not figure out who had pulled off the heist. Then a hypnosis team was called in to question a witness who could not clearly remember the robbery. The witness's memory held the key to solving the case. Amazingly, The hypnotized witness was able to remember the license plate number of the getaway car. The clue unveiled during the hypnosis session led to the robber's arrest. Investigative hypnosis techniques find key clues, such as license plates or faces that are buried deep in a witness's subconscious mind. Hypnosis proved to be useful when investigating major cases such as serial killer Kang Ho-soon's killing spree or the suicide of TV actress Jang Ja-yeon. Each year, forensic hypnosis helps to unearth key evidence in dozens of felonies such as hit and runs or sexual assaults.
잠재의식에 있지만은 그거를 법조면 전문가들이 끄집어내기 때문에 비디오 돌리는 원리하고 비슷합니다. 그때 당시의 상황으로 돌아가서 그때를 연상을 시킬 수 있는 거죠.
Hypnosis specialists have been stationed in each provincial police agency since 2000, and the police have been studying ways to make the most of their expertise.
Korean doctors have developed a rehabilitation program for stroke patients using gesture recognition technology that's best known for its use in home appliances and video games.
This elderly woman suffered a stroke a month ago, leaving the left side of her body paralyzed. When she moves her hand in front of a monitor, a digital hand moves along in sync and grabs blocks. This virtual therapy is the same as actual life treatment. Every time the patient moves the blocks correctly, his score rises. The background screen can also be changed. Patients' gestures are recognized thanks to a kinetic sensor installed above the monitor. It's the first in the world to be developed for medical purposes. The device succeeded in detecting and predicting the gestures of stroke patients with precision. So far, such motion recognition technologies were used mainly for games and home appliances. IT experts have highly lauded the newly developed program since it's the first of its kind.
We provide another tool for doctors and for nurses in order to help people heal from a terrible disease. We're very proud of the ability of computing technology.
State-of-the-art recognition technologies are not only changing people's lives, but also drawing attention as new growth engines.
In entertainment, the Korean supergroup Girls' Generation has won YouTube's Music Video of the Year award. Meanwhile, the fan favorite G.O.D. is considering a comeback.
Girls' Generation, I Got a Boy!
The music video for Girls' Generation's song I Got a Boy has won the Music Video of the Year award at the YouTube Music Awards. The girl group beat formidable rivals such as Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber. The award ceremony was held yesterday in New York. Media agencies from around the world covered the feat and showed great interest in whether Girls' Generation will succeed in the U.S. market. Sources say that the members of the boy band G.O.D. are considering getting back together. G.O.D. debuted in 1999 and produced numerous hits. But since releasing its 7th album in 2005, its 5 members haven't performed together. The band's agency says that the official date of the group's comeback has yet to be set and is currently discussing the group's reunion.
Daily sugar intake in Korea is rising fast, and much of it comes from processed foods, not an ideal source. We bring you more on this alarming trend. With an increase in the consumption of sweet beverages, cookies, and sweets, sugar intake in Korea is on the rise. Among processed foods, what are the biggest sources of sugar here? Well, this is what we found in a survey of ordinary Koreans.
견과류가 왠지 단맛을 내기 위해서 당분을 좀 많이 넣을 것 같은데. 커피에 설탕이 많이 들어가는 건 그냥 생각 없이 많이 먹더라고요. 나머지는 다 막 건강에 안 좋다고 안 먹는 것도 많은데.
Young people we interviewed in Myeongdong say carbonated beverages made up their biggest source of sugar. The real culprit behind Koreans' growing consumption of sugar among processed foods is coffee. Average Koreans have 2 cups a day. The sugar found in dessert coffee containing syrup or chocolate make up 1/3 of daily sugar intake in Korea. coffee isn't the only drink to blame. This energy drink contains 2.5 grams of sugar. That's about 4.5 sugar cubes. This 200 milliliter serving of milk seems like an unlikely source of sugar, but it contains 2 cubes of sugar. Flavored milk contains 6. Depending on the brand, a small container of yogurt can have up to 7 cubes of sugar. That's more sugar than a moon pie. As you can see, sugar is found in the most unlikely of places. Consequently, daily sugar intake among Koreans has grown roughly 10% each year from 2008 to 2010. Even more troubling is the fact that this increase is even more pronounced among teenagers than adults.
음료수가 좀 더 자극적이고 그러다 보니까 더 많이 찾게 되고
공부하면서 그냥 잠 깰 때 그렇게 많이 먹을 때는 기분이 좋은데 다 먹고 나면은 더 먹고 싶어서 그런 게.
As children or teens grow accustomed to sweet foods, they tend to eat even more as they grow older. Prolonged excessive intake of sugar can lead to obesity, cavities, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease.
이 같은 당 섭취가 그러니까 우리가 보통 많이 먹는 주식인 밥, 야채, 과일에서 일회하기보다는 빵이나 피자, 떡, 또 음료수 이런 데서 지금 많이 섭취하기 때문에 그 가공식품을 통한 당 섭취량이 무섭게 증가하는 추세를 볼 수 있습니다.
Daily intake of sugar recommended by the World Health Organization is 50 grams. Koreans have not yet reached this level, but the WHO recommended amount doesn't include sugar derived from fruits or dairy products. What should concern Koreans is that their main source of sugar is processed food. Fruits and vegetables are a much better natural source of sugar. We need sugar for energy, but too much of the sweet stuff can cause health problems. Moderation must be exercised when you're satisfying your sweet tooth. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.